Never in my life have I made a mock draft that the next day just looked so incredibly stupid. I mean, I just released a mock draft. It'll be a couple of days ago when you see this, or depending on when you see this, a couple of days before I'm making this video. And the next day, two blockbuster first round trades go on. The Washington freaking signs a guy that completely makes their pick just stupid. So yeah, that was great. So we're gonna redo this. This is my official, well, not official, it's official 2021 NFL mock draft post free agency. Let's hop back into it once again. Starting off with the first pick, although we are redoing this, the pick is still Trevor Lawrence. There's no reason to change it. Let's go. Number 2, the Jets. I think this pick becomes a lot more obvious with the 49ers trading up here with the Dolphins. And yes, I know the Dolphins are right there at 6. If you didn't hear about the trades, basically the Dolphins traded back with the 49ers and then traded up with the Eagles. So that all happened. The 49ers, gave away their future for this third pick, which makes you think, especially with the Robert Saleh connection, they know where the Jets are going. And especially, they're definitely trading Sam Darnold at this point. So it does seem pretty obvious that the Jets are going quarterback. And I think Zach Wilson is still going to be the pick for them. I still just think he makes sense over Justin Fields more for the Jets. So then at the 49ers at 3, they traded up here to get their quarterback of the future. Because even though they said Jimmy G is their guy this year, doesn't just mean that doesn't mean he's their guy of the future, and people can say that stuff all the time and just be straight up lying. The pick here is going to be Justin Fields. They traded up here to solidify that. Whether it's Wilson or Fields, one of them is going to be here for them. And Fields, I think in Shanahan's offense would be an amazing fit. And maybe you want to sit him behind Jimmy G for another year or two, have him come in, and he can be a top tier quarterback. I mean, this guy can be insanely good for already very, very good team 49ers team. They've sold their future for this pick. It's going to be a quarterback. You don't trade up here. I don't care what player you are. If you're not a quarterback, then a team's not going to trade 3 first round picks and more for you. That just doesn't happen. So yeah, Justin Fields here at 3. Then the Atlanta Falcons at 4. There's a high chance they could go Penei Sewell, Kyle Pitts here, but I do believe that the Falcons are just going to take the best quarterback available, and in this position, it just happens to be Trey Lance. The top 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks, and I'm strongly believing in that. Trey Lance, to most people would easily be the best quarterback available after the top 3 guys are gone. I do think he's at least a decent fit with Arthur Smith over there. We can see, how they work on him. It's the perfect scenario for him to be able to sit for a year or two behind Matt Ryan, so that works out for them. So yeah, I think it's a solid pick here for the Falcons, even though I think Lance at 4 is really overvaluing him. It makes sense. Then the Bengals, they get their tackle, since the first 4 picks are probably going to be quarterbacks unless the Falcons decide to go Penei Sewell. Bengals get their tackle of the future here. This makes complete sense. Jamar Chase would also make sense, but Penei Sewell is just a game-changing tackle, and he's easily the best tackle in this entire class. If these other teams weren't so quarterback needy, he could go as high as number 2. So he's a fantastic tackle. Then we have the Dolphins here at 6. So they traded back to 12 and then traded back up to 6, gained a heck of a lot of draft capital from it. And even trading back here at number 6, they're still able to get their hands on whatever receiving threat they want. And in that case, that ends up being Jamar Chase, the best receiver in this class. This is just, everyone else is playing football. Brian Flores is out here playing Madden right now with these trades, and how much draft capital they have is insane. They're still such a young, talented team and only getting better. This team's going to be really, really scary if they do things right in a couple years. And Jamar Chase is one big step towards that because he is an elite receiver. Then at 7, we have the Lions. It's really tempting to take Kyle Pitts here. However, I do still think Jalen Waddle would make more sense for them. I think it's probably where he'll go is the Lions. Again, Devontae Smith makes sense here, and obviously so does Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is a top 3 player. So for him to even be dropping this far is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I think Jalen Waddle just makes a bit more sense here for the Lions because they already have TJ Hawkinson. Although Kyle Pitts is not just a tight end, they have Hawkinson. Then here at 8 for the Panthers. This is a pick where it gets interesting because there's a lot of different places they can go. Kyle Pitts makes a ton of sense here. Although they're not a team that values tight end, they did lose Curtis Samuel, so he can definitely like fill in for that and maybe even be their number 2 receiver above DJ Moore. But also, again, they don't have a tight end right now, and he'd be a big upgrade over Ian Thomas, I think it is, as well as Rashawn Slater makes some sense. They need some help along the offensive line, and he's very versatile. Corner obviously makes sense here as well because they could definitely use a good corner, even Micah Parsons here. However, at the end of the day, Kyle Pitts is just such an amazing player and an amazing versatile weapon that, there's no way he drops past the Panthers. I just don't see how you can pass up a player like Kyle Pitts when he falls to you at 8. There's just no way you pass that up. Then the Broncos here at 9, and, the Broncos, I really think that they're going to be trading for Deshaun Watson. I don't know what it is, but especially with the 49ers trading up now, like Watson is the only, or the Broncos are the only team that makes sense for Watson. I mean, it really seemed to me it was either going to be the Broncos or 49ers, but now that the 49ers just sold their entire future to get their quarterback of the future in the draft, I just don't, unless Watson all of a sudden wants to play for the Panthers or Jets again, maybe even the Dolphins. The rumor is that he either wanted to play just for San Fran or the Broncos. San Francisco does not have the draft capital to trade for Watson now, so the Broncos are the only team that really makes sense to me. Let me get this trade to go through, and I'll be right back to you guys. And we're back. So the Texans find themselves in an interesting situation here because, at 9, they're not in a position to trade up with any of these teams, maybe the Falcons, to take a quarterback. I just don't see them trading up to 4. I think the Falcons should be pretty dead set on taking whatever quarterback they can get their hands on. So at this point in the draft, they can very easily go with any of these players here. Any of these players would instantly upgrade their team. But I still do think if you're going to trade away Watson, I'm assuming you're probably getting Drew Lock in that deal, but you're still probably not very confident with Lock heading forward. I feel like the Texans are another team that would probably just take the best quarterback available, and in that case, it's Mac Jones. He's a guy that a lot of NFL teams are going to have higher on their boards than most people would, but I really do like Mac Jones. Sadly, he goes to the Texans in this situation, but I just feel like they're going to take the best quarterback available unless they're able to trade up with the Falcons, which I don't really see happening. They're just going to sit here at 9 and take whatever quarterback. If Mac Jones falls there, the best quarterback available. Mac Jones is also a strong possibility for the Panthers as well. However, again, Kyle Pitts is just too good of a weapon to pass up. Then here at 10, we have the Cowboys. And, they can very easily trade back to select a corner later here and gain some draft capital. However, in this situation, I just don't see why there's any point. Just take your guy, because any of these coming up teams could easily take Surtain. Pairing him up with Trevon Diggs, like I already said, would just be great. They were the best college football cornerback duo in the league and by a wide shot, or by a long shot. So, yeah, it just makes sense. Pair them back up together. Then we have the Giants here at 11, and, something I think I've learned on my time here on YouTube is that it really doesn't matter who I take for the Giants because they're just going to get pissed at the pick no matter what. When I went with Kwity Paye yesterday, or a couple of days ago now, yeah, Giants fans didn't like that, obviously. And they were, of course, telling me, we're going offensive line or we're going wide receiver. I mean, you guys got Kenny Golladay. Receiver's still in the mix here, yes, but do you really need to go receiver in the first round? I would maybe consider a receiving threat in Kyle Pitts here, but, why not just make the fans happy? I'll give them Rashawn Slater. And it's a pick I can see happening as well, obviously. I don't think it needs to happen. They have some decent O-linemen already, and I personally don't think Slater's much of an upgrade. I know Andrew Thomas was horrible last year, but he still has a good amount of upside. Matthew Pert looked really nice at times. Nate Solder's probably going to play right tackle. Then you've got guys, Kevin. It's not Kevin. Marvin Gates or something like that. Your center, he's not horrible. Will Hernandez is a nice guard, and they just signed Zach Fulton, which is a pretty decent guard as well. Slater might be, it probably is an upgrade over any of those guys wherever they want to stick him. I just think there's better places to go, but I can definitely see this pick happening, and I'm just trying to make Giants fans somewhat happy here because they never are. Then here at 12, we have the Eagles, who traded back, and they're still able to get their hands on a really, really good receiver here in Devontae Smith. um, Devontae Smith is a guy that I think really needs to be a number 2, number 3, or slot guy. And in Philly, he probably is their number 1, which I don't really like. Although I do like him and Hurts together. I like that overall as just a fit. I think he's pretty nice. He fits pretty nicely into the Eagles scheme. And I think he'd look good in the Eagles uniform. So this is a pick that I could see happening pretty easily. Then here at 13 for the Chargers. I'm starting to think corner might be a real good chance here. Because they literally just have Chris Harris Jr. He's getting older and slower every day. So Caleb Farley definitely makes sense here. I can for sure see that. I just, I feel like you just got to protect Justin Herbert the best you can, and in doing that, you're going to take Christian Darrisaw, who, besides Penei Sewell, in my opinion, is the best tackle in this class. So second best tackle in this class. I think he has more upside than Sewell. I mean, Sewell probably is going to be better and, probably always will be better. But Darrisaw has a good chance at being the best tackle in this class. I mean, the upside on this guy is insane. He's already a very, very good tackle. So getting him there at left tackle just makes sense here for the Chargers. Then the Vikings here at 14. And with, the main good tackles off the board, good chance they could still maybe go with like Elijah Vera-Tucker or someone, but I just don't see that here at 14. I think that's a little high for Vera-Tucker. So in this case, I think the best pick for the Vikings is to get someone across from Danielle Hunter as long as he stays there. And, you can go a few different directions here. Gregory Rousseau, I think, would be a really nice fit on Mike Zimmer's defense, although I think 14 is really high for Rousseau. Definitely makes sense, and I think Kwity Paye should go before, Gregory Rousseau, but I just feel like, another one of those picks where I can definitely see Rousseau being valued way more by some teams. And so I think Rousseau, he fits on the Vikings defense for sure, and I like him next to Hunter. You're hoping for him to hit more of his boom potential, obviously, because he is a pretty boom or bust prospect. But yeah, it's a nice pick here for the Vikings. Here at 15, the Patriots. This is a spot I normally have them trade back, but I don't see a ton of trade partners for some of these players here, and there are still some very good players that would make sense for the Patriots. There's 2 very good corners on the board, some great pass rushers available, even some great linebackers. So between all these guys, I think that the Patriots here at 15 would love to hop on a cornerback here in Caleb Farley, kind of steal him ahead of the Cardinals. Caleb Farley, the roof is the limit for this, or the sky is the limit for this guy. Just messed up a very common phrase somehow. The sky is the limit for Caleb Farley. He is an immensely good corner, is the best corner in this class, but I don't know if some teams would value him that way. But he's a really nice fit on Belichick's defense. They already have some talented corners, but they could trade Gilmore. We don't know if J.C. Jackson's going to be back next year. So getting a guy like Farley would make that defense really, really good if they do lose those corners, or even if they keep them. Then here at 16 for the Cardinals. Caleb Farley got taken right before you. That doesn't change the fact that they're just going to go with the best corner here, and that's definitely J.C. Horn. Did you see this guy's pro day numbers? They were insane. This guy's a first rounder for sure. He's an amazing corner, and this is not a bad pick. I mean, I still prefer Farley, but this is not a bad pick for the Cardinals at all. Then at 17 for the Raiders, this pick is staying exactly the same. For exact reasons, like I stated a couple days ago, gutted their O-line for no reason. Their replacements are not good, contrary to popular belief. Like, Denzel Good was like the worst offensive lineman in football last year. So then putting him at tackle, I don't see any reason he's going to play any better. Nick Martin's not the worst center in the world, but he's a huge downgrade over Rodney Hudson and John Simpson for your guard, I guess, which, I mean, he's a rookie he's been in the league for 1 year and you've barely seen him play. So yeah, great offensive line. Vera-Tucker's the pick here. Then here at 18 for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins have some good players to jump on here, and why not jump on Micah Parsons? This guy is a fantastic linebacker. And the great thing for him is that he's a really, really nice fit in the Dolphins defense. This is a guy that should go a lot higher, but unfortunately might fall due to some of his fighting issues and stuff. But yeah, here for the Dolphins, I mean, he's a great fit. Like, they can use him at that edge rusher like he wants to be, but he's still great at dropping back into coverage, obviously, which is, again, a thing the Dolphins like to do with their more outside linebackers. I'd assume he'd probably transition to more of that outside linebacker, but could still play middle linebacker as well, even safety if they really wanted him to. So it's a really good, sensible pick here for the Dolphins. Then at 19, we have Washington, who went with a receiver yesterday right before they signed Adam Humphries. So I don't see them taking a receiver anymore. It's definitely tackle or linebacker here, even though they really don't need a tackle. The pick is definitely going to be linebacker. And out of all these guys, by the way, why is Nick Bolton all the way down here? Fix your rankings, PFF, or PFN, sorry. Yeah, the best linebacker at this spot, in my opinion, would be Nick Bolton. Although I definitely know not everyone would agree with that. However, the best fit for Washington here definitely is JOK. JOK is such a versatile player. Can be a very good coverage linebacker, but could also transition to safety very easily. And Washington is a team that lacks safeties. Can also put some good pressure on the quarterback as well. So JOK is a very good player. Makes a lot of sense here for Washington. Bears at 20. This pick's not going to change. I still really like Salmon Cosme to the Bears. They need tackles. Enough said. Same story with the Colts here. They're going to go with the exact same player from yesterday in Tevin Jenkins. I really just feel this pick. He feels like a Colt to me. Very big, kind of sluggish, which is why I don't like him, but I really feel him here to the Colts. 22 for the Titans, and I really am starting to feel receiver for them. After losing, they signed Josh Reynolds, but he's still a downgrade over Humphries and Davis. So, getting a receiver here like Rashad Bateman would be really nice. There's some other places they can go as well. They do need a tackle after the Isaiah Wilson fiasco. They need corners like really badly now. So there's definitely a fair amount of places you can go. They still need a tackle, and Christian Barmore would be an amazing fit on the Titans defense, defensive tackle. But, out of all these places, I think receiver is more important for them now because losing Davis and Humphries and Jonnu Smith as well just hurt them really badly. And although obviously they're a run-first team, you still want to have a guy for the future. Besides A.J. Brown, I don't see Josh Reynolds being any more than like a number 3, maybe slot guy. So in that case, you're going to go with the best receiver available, Rashad Bateman. Put up also some eye-popping numbers on his pro day. The only thing I really have concerns about at this point is drops, and I'm not even sure if that's going to be an issue in the NFL. So this guy looks like a really good receiver. I like him here to the Titans. 23, the Jets. The Jets here, there's a few different positions they can go, but Kwity Paye is still here at 23, and which is a little ridiculous, honestly. Good players fall in the draft, and Kwity Paye is going to go here because Kwity Paye is an amazing pass rusher. The dude has it all. Maybe he's not the best pass rusher long-term in this class, but he's definitely the best right now, besides maybe Micah Parsons. So yeah, Kwity Paye is really talented. Getting him on that defense would be really nice across from Quinnen Williams. It'd make that defense really scary. 24, Steelers, another pick the same as the time before. Jalen Mayfield just feels like a Steeler to me. I mean, it's a pick that makes sense to me. They need linemen pretty badly. So, yeah, that's the pick here for the Steelers. Jaguars at 25. There are still some great pass rushers on the board, but I just really love the fit of Christian Barmore on this defense. They could really use like a true defensive tackle because Tyson Alulu's fine, but I see him as more of a backup anyways. Christian Barmore would be great, and I would love him on the Jaguars. Browns at 26. I don't see any other pick here than Nick Bolton, really. Maybe you want to make the argument for an edge player, but I see Ojulari as more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, and none of these guys are first rounders to me, except for maybe Boogie Basham. Nick Bolton, super, super athletic, super quick, maybe the most athletic person in this class. Doesn't make the big flashy plays, but he always finishes his plays. He never messes up a tackle. He never misses a tackle. He never, lets someone slip by him. So he's a very consistent and very good linebacker. 27, we have the Ravens. And the Ravens, could still go receiver, but especially after signing Sammy Watkins, probably not very likely. Could definitely go guard even after signing Kevin Zeitler. Safety is still definitely a pick here. They could go if they do like Merrig. They can take him, which I think would be a bit early. But in this case, they lost Matt Judon, lost Ngakwe, got Tyus Bowser back. I don't know if they got Pernell McPhee back, so they could definitely use some new outside linebackers or even a defensive lineman since Campbell and Wolf are starting to get up there in age. So Asai would make sense here on paper, but Azeez Ojulari is just so good, man. Like, this guy is going to be an elite pass rusher in the NFL, and I'm pretty strong on that. The way that this guy just uses his power with his first step and his speed just gives me super heavy Von Miller vibes, and I love that about any player. So him here to replace, play next to Tyus Bowser, I really would love that for the Ravens. 28, the Saints. Zaven Collins, I don't know. I'm kind of starting to feel more second round on Zaven Collins. Plus, I don't know if he's that great of a scheme fit. I actually kind of see him as more of a 3-4 outside linebacker rather than a 4-3. So I don't really know if I like that here for the Saints. They can definitely go defensive line after losing Trey Hendrickson and David Onyemata and Malcolm Brown. So they could definitely go with that here. Marshawn Lattimore just got arrested. Possession of a gun and stolen goods. So they might be in the market for a new cornerback, especially after losing Janoris Jenkins as well. They need safety. Yeah, their defense is looking a little weird right now. So wherever we go along the defense might be an improvement. And in this case, I'm still gonna go. No, we're not gonna do linebacker. I just think Zaven Collins isn't the best scheme fit, and I'm kind of starting to feel more second round on him. We're going to go corner here in Asante Samuel, who in my opinion is the fourth best corner. Yeah, I mean, they already lost Janoris Jenkins. Who knows what's going to happen with Marshawn Lattimore. Even if they had Lattimore, they would still need corner help. But, especially without Lattimore, they definitely need corner help. So, yeah, that's the pick here for the Saints. Packers at 29. Packers, I'm just starting to feel less and less on wide receiver for them because they are getting Devin Funchess back, and Valdez-Scantling looked really good at the end of the year there. So I'm starting to feel less that. The pick's probably, excuse me, the pick's probably going to be linebacker or corner. Like I already said, I don't really see Zaven Collins going here, and there's no one else I really think is going to go in the first round. So corner is going to be the pick here. And the best corner at this point is for sure Greg Newsome, a guy that didn't get a lot of recognition for a while there at Northwestern, but then this year really started to get that recognition. It was a big part why their defense was so good, and their defense was very good. So this guy's going to be a solid corner in the NFL. I really like the fit of him across from Alexander. Really nice pick here for the Packers. Bills here at 30. Another team that's going to go, a team that's going to go with more of a luxury pick, just a guy that they can take a chance on down the road, might make them just a even better, really good team. And, right now, Najee Harris makes sense. I could see him in the Bills for sure. They could still use a guard pretty well because they let go of Brian Winters. John Feliciano's okay, and then I don't even know who their left guard is. So, I think I do like Wyatt Davis here. Joseph Asai would make sense as well, but they got AJ Epinesa and a few other guys. So I'm going to go with Wyatt Davis here. I think the Bills just seems like a team that would really take him. It feels like a really nice fit there for the Bills. And I think he can go there at left or right guard, and he'll be pretty good. Chiefs, same pick as last time. They need tackle, like really, really bad. And Liam Eichenberg is a really good tackle. There's a few plays where he doesn't look like he was doing, but otherwise, this dude's going to be an elite tackle. I just don't know if other teams are going to value him that high. And then last, the Buccaneers. This pick's also going to be staying the same, especially after letting Leonard Fournette go. Najee Harris is the pick. He's the best running back in the class by far, in my opinion. Derrick Henry, but just maybe not as good as Derrick Henry, still is going to be a fantastic running back, something that the Buccaneers could really use after letting Fournette go. So, makes sense. That is my revised official 2021 NFL mock draft post free agency. If you did like it, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, comment down below what you liked, what you didn't, anything you want. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you guys for all the support, and I will see all you dudes in the next video. Bye-bye.